songs of all my great-grandmothers and the dreams of all my great-grandfathers and the way to rise beyond the pain or live, live in me. In the land of I am more than I have been, I am more than I will be, I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been, I am more than I will be, I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been, I am more than I will be, I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been, I am more than I will be, I am all that I am. And the smiles of all the unborn children and the dream of a better day to come and the dance of heaven with the earth all live, live in me. Land of I am more than I have been, I am more than I will be, I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been, I am more than I will be, I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been, I am more than I will be, I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been, I am more than I will be, I am all that I am. Been robbed and displaced, abused and displaced. Been robbed and disgraced, abused and disgraced. Been lied to, lies can be seen through in the land. You can't fall from grace in the land. You cannot be heard in the land. There's more than enough in the land. Always at home, always at home, always at home, always at home, always at In the land of I am more than I have been, I am more than I will be, I am all that I am. In the land of I am more than I have been, I am more than I will be, I am all that I am. Songs of all my great-grandmothers and the dreams of all my great-grandfathers and the way to rise beyond the pain or live, live in.
Good morning, Open Heart, and welcome to our live stream for this first Sunday in the month of February. So grateful to have you joining us today as a part of our celebration. Just appreciate again all of the support that you provide for us each and every week. Your support financially, your support by tuning in, by telling others, and make sure that you do share in social media. I see people liking the post when we put the post out about what we are going to have as far as our live stream and the theme, the topic for the message and all of that. But don't just like it, share it. Take that share button and share it with your friends. Tag your friends in it. Let them know what it is that we are doing as a part of Open Heart. Invite them to watch the live stream. So grateful for all of you as we continue to stay safe and do all that we can to remain safe and bring things under control. I greet you. I bless you. I see God in you.
Well, good morning. I'd like to thank you for joining us on today's Open Heart service. I'd like to take a moment to just take a breath in, breathing this breath and releasing this breath and letting go of anything that has come before this time. And I just give thanks for being here now with each and every single one of you as you're here with us, and allowing ourselves to just take this time to set aside all our cares and worries and woes, if any, and to be present. This morning we woke up, before our feet hit the floor, we said to ourselves, it's going to be an awesome day. It's going to be an awesome day. It's going to be an awesome day. And if you didn't say that, you're saying it now, because it's going to be an awesome day. And I invite us, before our feet hit the floor each and every single morning, to say that to ourselves, to lift ourselves up. And as we lift ourselves up, we lift one another up. So join me now in just knowing that I am grateful for this service, for all that have a part in this service, for the beautiful music, the affirmative reading, centering moments, and yes, the message. And let us give thanks for the messenger. And as the messenger brings the message to us, let us take it in, take it within, and allow it to forever transform us from where we were at this point in time to where we will be when we hear the message. And so I just give thanks for this time, for this knowing. And together we say, let the celebration begin. And so it is.
Our theme for this February is Living from the Heart. And our daily affirmation, won't you join me in saying it right where you are? I recognize the infinite power of spirit expressing itself as divine love. A love so pure that no words can describe it and no thoughts can encompass it. That love is right where I am, and it is the very animating spirit of all life. It is all loving and ever present, demonstrating its joy and celebration throughout all of life.
Good morning, Open Heart. It's great to see you all. Thank you, John, for including me in this morning's service. I hope everyone is staying safe and blessed. As I thought throughout the week about what to speak about, one thing that kept crossing my mind is I feel like people lately in general, myself included, I've been hearing a lot about negative self-talk. I think that we're maybe coming to the time of year when people are falling off of their New Year's resolutions or whatever intentions that they've set for the year. And I think it's just important to remember that the way that we think about things has such an impact on what is going on around us. So in my thoughts of what I would speak about this week, I actually ran across a note from September of 2019 that I took in my phone at an Open Heart service. And my note says, invest thoughts on those things that you can change, things that you can bring your power and the light to. What thoughts are you sowing into the valley that you're going through during this hard time? Thoughts turn into words, which turn into action. Words have meaning. Do not sow negativity. If you do, you will pay the consequences. Keep in mind to always sow positive thoughts. I think that that's just really impactful. It doesn't matter what you're going through. If you have fallen off your New Year's resolution goal, that's okay. As long as you have a great intent and a great attitude going forward, things will be easier. I hope everyone's doing well and staying safe. Hope to see you soon.
Today is a day like no other day. Just think and you'll know that it's true. Days like today should be holidays. So I'm singing this message to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Just have a happy day. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Just have a happy day. Happy birthday!
These are your announcements for February the 7th. Although the week has passed, we want to acknowledge two people in the Open Heart community who are school counselors. This was National School Counseling Week, and we want to say congratulations to Jocelyn Johnson and Ashley Bowles for the hard work that you put in each and every day on behalf of students and families. And here are a few things about the profession that they would like for you to know. School counselors must hold a master's degree. They're no longer called guidance counselors. They focus on three core areas: academic, personal, social. They abide by a code of ethics. They provide short-term solution-focused counseling. They're trained in trauma-informed care. They believe that mental health matters. They collaborate with families, teachers, administrators, law enforcement, and community mental health professionals. 80% of their time is to be spent in direct service to students. Again, happy National School Counseling Week. We know it's past, but we still want to salute Jocelyn and Ashley. As always, we remember our Open Heart family in our prayers. We want to especially acknowledge the fact that Angela Battle, the wife of Herbert Battle, had a brother and nephew transition last week. We weren't able to get the announcements up to acknowledge it then, but we want to acknowledge it now. And all of the other people that you see on this prayer list, whether it's remembering you in your time of grief, whether it's knowing that you are continually experiencing health and wholeness, knowing your fullness that is coming through, or just whatever situation or circumstance, knowing that in each and every moment, Spirit is expressing in, as, and through you. We remember all of you in prayer. Watch a video of Mae Brophy performing Florence Price's A Pensive Mood from her recently published 7 descriptive pieces, which will premiere on Sunday, February the 14th at 5:30 p.m. Central Time on YouTube. The video will be a prelude to a virtual evening song service of St. George's Episcopal Church honoring Absalom Jones, the first Black Episcopal priest. You'll be able to find it on their YouTube channel, and you can see the link there. Let's support Maeve. Well, it's back. Wine and Words, something that's been very popular at Open Heart, and it will take place again on Thursday, February the 25th at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. The theme for this month is How Have We Let Fear and Chaos Drive Us into Othering? It will take place via Zoom, and you can tune in and join, and whether you have wine or some other beverage and snack, we're going to pull the same spirit that we have when we've gathered in person. We've had some wonderful conversation with Wine and Words, and we look forward to you joining us on the 25th and following, because every fourth Thursday of the month, we're going to have our virtual Wine and Words. Speaking of virtual, upcoming is a virtual book study led by our assistant spiritual director, Villa Willis, and this one is about meditation and mindfulness, and it will take place on the second Thursdays from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, beginning March 11th, 2021. The book that will be used is The Headspace Guide to Meditation and Mindfulness by Andy Puddicombe, and it can be purchased online at Amazon and other online sources. And we know this is going to be a dynamic course, a dynamic study, and you're invited to join. There are going to be a variety of ways that this content is going to be delivered, and we can't wait. Join us each Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. Central Time for our midday love grid meditation led by Britannia Allen. You can enter the meditation room by going to our Open Heart website. Thank you, James Baker, for your affirmative reading today. Always, others can submit theirs. Start your day or continue your day with our 8 a.m. Central Time daily affirmative prayer call, 901-586-8755. Our wonderful prayer team leads us in this effort. Infinite prosperity is mine to share. Thank you so much for your support of us through your conscious giving. We know that times can be uncertain, but you continue to support Open Heart, and it is truly appreciated. You can do so via our app. You can do so online or text the word GIVE to 615-422-4292. Thanks again. Black History Month is a 365-day celebration, but the month of February is set aside to remember or to honor this history. And Open Heart, as a part of this, is recognizing Black evolutionaries in the science of mind, courtesy of the Center for Spiritual Living Dallas. And each week we will feature a video produced by them that will provide some insight into some really significant and powerful African Americans who have contributed to
Here's a little-known Black History Science of Mind fact. Jamaican-born Marcus Mosiah Garvey Jr. is well known as a businessman, journalist, Pan-Africanist, and powerful orator of the early 1900s. As such, he attracted thousands of followers to his Black nationalist movement that became known as Garveyism. As founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, Garvey encouraged African Americans to be proud of their race and promoted cultural identity through his Back to Africa campaign. But did you know that Garvey was also a follower of the New Thought movement, as well as a student of the ideas and philosophies of religious science? In fact, Garvey studied the same New Thought philosophers as religious science founder Ernest Holmes and his brother Fenwick, and often quoted their teachings. He also was inspired by divine science co-founder Nona Brooks. Even the philosophy of transcendentalism, led by writer Ralph Waldo Emerson, resonated with Garvey. He excelled in merging racial philosophical concepts and science of mind principles while addressing the Black condition in America. The strong philosophical beliefs in self-mastery, determination, and willpower that Garvey preached to Black people aligned perfectly with the newly emerging teachings of science of mind. In many of Garvey's speeches and writings, he often urged his followers to get a scientific knowledge of religion. His message was clear: liberate the minds of men, and ultimately, you will liberate the bodies of men. Another instrumental Jamaican in science of mind is Dr. Elma Lumsden, who founded the Temple of Light Church of Religious Science in Kingston, Jamaica in 1981. An engaging speaker and master teacher, Dr. Elma is also known for her simple yet dynamic words of wisdom, such as, "Until you can walk on water, take a boat," and "Life is a school, and we're not on holiday." Due to her leadership and diligence, Lumsden helped religious science become recognized as one of 12 key religions in Jamaica. Dr. Elma Lumsden and Marcus Garvey, Black evolutionaries in science of mind.
As we come to this place in our celebration, where there has been song and prayers and readings, announcements and everything, we're now at the place to again refocus, recenter, reset, center, now knowing that all is well. And that Spirit has written on our hearts what we will hear in the message. And so it is. I believe. I believe in the power, and I've never
think of me is none of my business. What other people think of me is none of my business. What other people think of me is none of my business.
Oh, feels good to believe. Oh, feels so good to believe. Said I believe. Said I believe. Said I believe. Yeah. And I never, every minute, every hour. Yeah, I believe in myself, my health. Yeah, I believe.
I played that song by my daughter, Shelley Gilmore, again this week because for two reasons. Last week, it hung up, and there were some people who said that during the broadcast they wanted to hear it in its entirety and let me know how much they missed hearing the song without the spinning and the spooling that happened. And secondly, because it provides a perfect segue into today's message. The song by Sounds of Blackness, I Believe in Myself, because I know I get my help from the power deep inside, I believe. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, from Proverbs 23:7. Or I'm one who likes to use inclusive language. So as a man, woman, or non-binary person thinks in their heart, so they are. This morning I'm talking about thinketh in the heart. Our theme for this month is living from the heart. And we know that from a metaphysical standpoint that the heart represents the place of understanding. It is the seat of consciousness, that we see things and we perceive things and we feel things through our heart. And it's a very important thing. And this month we're exploring how we do that and why that is so important for us as we live our lives. I said that the heart is the seat of consciousness. And what is consciousness? Roger Berkman says that the reality of life is that your perceptions, right or wrong, influence everything you do. When you get a proper perspective of your perceptions, you may be surprised at how many other things fall in place. And this is his definition of consciousness. And at the very core of our being, our thoughts, beliefs, emotions, feelings, and the like shape our experiences and how we view the world. This bundle of thought forms, experiences, and worldview is called consciousness. Our consciousness shapes everything else, and it directs our actions, our reactions, and responses to the world. If you've ever shopped when you were hungry, you can testify to this. You understand what I'm saying. If you ever shopped when you were hungry, or if you said things when you were angry, you did it from a certain consciousness. You acted from that certain consciousness. If you shopped when you were hungry, you probably ended up buying things that you didn't even want. Sometimes things that you didn't even like, but you were motivated by the consciousness of hunger. If you said things that you regret, that you didn't mean to say because you were angry, again, working from the consciousness of anger, you understand in that moment what it is to move and to operate from a certain level of consciousness. And that's important. Our consciousness is the way that we see the world. If we worry all the time because our consciousness of that is that of fear, and we're afraid that things won't work out for us, then we will find ourselves moving about with fear, distrusting people, waiting for the other shoe to drop, thinking that things are not going to go our way because that is our level of consciousness. And you know what? That's not really a good way to live, is it? After all, the places us at the whim of our consciousness. We get bandied about depending upon what our consciousness is at the time in that moment. And our consciousness is in the driver's seat then. And it does things, and it leads us here and it leads us there to an uneven life. And we find ourselves being bandied about day after day, day in and day out. But what if there was a way to change that? What if instead of being along for the ride that is being driven by our consciousness, that we get in the driver's seat? Wouldn't that be great? When situations of hunger, anger, fear, worry, or insecurity arise, that we're able to overcome them, that we're able to steer our course. That's a great way of being. That's a great way of living. That's a great way to be. And one more thing. What if we were able to not only determine our course and be the driver, but we could be intentional about it, that we could do the things that we need to do on a regular basis to choose our consciousness, to choose the journey, to choose where we are. That's important. One of the first things that we do is that we have to understand thought forms. Bruce Boyle, in his book, Before You Think Another Thought, describes thought forms like grapes. They clump together. But if you were to strip the grapes off of them, then you would see these branches that are arrayed in different directions. If you move backward toward the main branch, you discover that the branches along the way become stronger and thicker. And finally, you get to the core branch. In the realm of thought forms, the core branch is the root thought form. It's the root thought form. It's the important one. That is the initial thought form that establishes the basic pattern or blueprint of experience, and anything new, beliefs, issues, or situations attach themselves to that thought form and grow from there. Our concept of ourselves is likely to be the strongest and the biggest influence on the thought form or belief that we encounter. They're shaped by our experiences in childhood. We choose beliefs and accept them most often because they were given to us by a caretaker or influential person or influential people in our lives. But we don't have to stay there. We have the opportunity to examine again those choices, to see what serves us and what does not serve us, to see what we want and to see what we don't no longer want. We're not bound by those early choices. Matthew chapter 8 verse 13 reminds us when the master teacher Jesus was approached by the Roman centurion for aid for his servant back at home, and he says he's sick and I wish you would do something for him. And when Jesus says, well, let's go to your home, he said, that's okay, because I understand that whatever you will can happen. You can do it right here because I know this thing. And Jesus commended him. I've not seen a faith like this man's in all of Israel. And today I want you to know it is done unto you as you believe. And life happens to us as we believe, getting back to those thought forms and that consciousness. It's important to remember that you are responsible. This teaching places the responsibility for life in our laps, in the lap of the individual, because it teaches we are creating our experiences. And there are ways in which other people do contribute to that. But this morning, I'd like to focus on how we create our experiences, how we are a part of what is happening here, and how we can do things, how we can be in the driver's seat and understand those things that are happening. Sometimes when people encounter this idea, they think that the inappropriate act, they think that they have to blame themselves. And I'm not talking about blaming ourselves. I'm not victim blaming or victim shaming in this point. I am talking about taking responsibility for ourselves and using the power that we do have, because there are things and systems in place that do affect us, but there is also power that we do have in the midst of what is taking place, to change our situation and to change our perspective and all of that. For example, understanding that we are responsible is the first step to freedom. The more quickly we let go of the idea of self-blame or self-punishment, the more quickly we can accomplish our goals. It's important to remember that whatever we pay attention to is we're telling the universe we want more of that. Whatever we direct our attention and our energy to, it grows. And so in this case, we want to place our energy and our attention on those things which we want to have more of, what we like to see expressed in our lives. If you're experiencing a broken ankle and you wish to experience complete health, you must focus on health, not illness. Searching for the reason why you broke your ankle may sometimes be helpful, but it's not the same as healing the ankle. Looking for a diagnosis is not the same as creating a sound body. Spend your time and energy thinking about what it is that you do want and not worrying about what that you don't want. Divine intelligence provides whatever you ask for. Every time you are thinking about something, you are, in a way, asking for it. So one of the things I'd like to suggest as a practical solution in this moment is to take an experience that you consider negative and begin by owning it. If you say to yourself, I'm always broke, say to yourself, I created this shortage. But again, don't get down on yourself. Give yourself some grace. And then make a list of the reasons, the possible reasons why you find that this happens to you all the time. Maybe you wanted to avoid working too hard. Maybe you spend a lot on those things to have something good in your life. Or you didn't get the promotion you thought you needed to, or your money ran out, or all of those things, whatever it is. First of all, look at your reasons and laugh. Or if you're not ready to laugh at them, cross them off one by one and begin writing affirmations, affirmative statements to replace them. Decide whether you're willing to let go of that experience today. If you're not willing to let go of it today, then tell yourself, I have a right to make choices, and I'm choosing to hold on to this today. I know I can make a new choice tomorrow. If you choose to let go of the experience, then begin writing those things down now and say that I here in this moment choose to make a new decision and to see things from a new place and a new space. Make a way in which you will begin fulfilling those needs. Make a way in which you will be making a choice and making a change in your life. Watch how you think. Watch how you do those things. And understand the second point I want to make is that you always have a choice. You always have a choice. What those things that we very often label as negative or evil is simply our emotional response to something that we can change in our lives as we could take control of our thinking. Other things that we call bad may be best changed by eliminating a negative emotional response. It may be that there are certain situations, conditions, or experiences that are in our control and those that are not. And we have to recognize those things. Some things might take a long time to change, or it might be possible that we can't change those things at all. If you're a person and you're only 5 feet tall, it's probably good to work on accepting your height rather than thinking that you're going to grow another 6 inches. If you always wanted to be a ballet dancer and you're now 70 years old, then it might be that you can look at other ways to express your creative energy. But looking at those things that you can control and those things that you can't control, there's an art to knowing what you can and what you cannot. So again, make a list. Make a list of those things that you can control. Say you want to lose 10 pounds. You make that on that list. You wish that Uncle Charlie would stop drinking. It's really something that you can't control. You think that if he stops drinking, I'll be happy. But that's Uncle Charlie's business, something Uncle Charlie can do. But you're unable to really control that. And begin with the things that you can change. I will take the actions to make this possible. Begin affirming, I choose to be healthy. I choose to eat better. I choose to exercise. I choose to do the things that you can do, the things that you have control over. Understanding that as you think in your heart and as you take control of your consciousness, things happen for you. Things happen in you. Things happen because they emanate from the heart. One of my favorite stories I like to tell, and it's interesting because it's a story that involves animals. And I remember years ago there was a church that invited me a number of occasions to preach, and it seemed like that I always had an animal story to tell. And there were a few people that would joke with me and kid with me about it and call me the animal preacher because I had those stories. But one of them that I like that really illustrates the point that I'm trying to get to this morning. And that is about these two frogs that were hopping about in the forest that weren't really paying attention to what they were doing. And they found themselves having fallen down into a deep hole that was notorious for ending the lives of frogs. It's true enough, when they got down there and they started to look around, they saw the skeletons of frogs that didn't make it out. And they started to panic. And they both started hopping. And then as word got around that they were down there in that hole, their other frog friends gathered around the outside of the hole and began calling down to them, you might as well give up. You're not going to make it out. Nobody's ever made it out before. The first frog, upon hearing what the people were saying, stopped. The other frogs were saying, stop hopping. But the second frog kept hopping. He saw the people, the frogs that were around, and they were yelling and gesturing and everything. And that frog kept hopping and got one big leap, and boom, was up out of the hole. They all were amazed and marveled at how that frog had made it out, and they all gathered around the frog, and they were excitedly chattering to the frog, nobody's ever done that before. We've never seen anything like that. How can you have done that? And all of that. And the frog looked at them with a puzzled look on their face. One of the other frogs in the crowd recognized that frog, hopped over and said, I understand what's going on, and then began gesturing in sign language to that frog, because you see, the second frog was hearing impaired. And when the frog saw all of the other frogs doing all of the motioning and everything else and yelling down to it, it thought rather than saying give up, it was encouraging it. And so because it couldn't hear the negative things, it kept on until it was able to get up out of the pit. Sometimes in life, we have to take the initiative to drown out and become deaf, if you will, to those negative influences, those negative forces, and those negative voices that are saying to us, you can't, you won't, you never will, nobody ever has, none of those things. To take into ourselves and into consideration our heart space, our heart chakra, that we indeed do have the power to do what it is that we need to do, to understand that in all that we do. I close with an affirmation by Emily Cooley, who years and years ago wrote this, and it became a mantra, if you will, for so many people to change their lives. I share it with people all the time, but it's as simple as this. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Won't you say it? Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Doesn't matter what it looks like now. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. No matter what people say, every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. But what about COVID-19? Every day, in every way, I'm getting better. and better. But what about the politics? Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Continue to do, continue to strive, continue to affirm, continue to keep jumping, and whoop! One of those hops will get you to where you want to be. And so it is.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, gotta let it go. Gotta let it all go. Are you listening? You got to let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Oh, I am free in the Spirit. Do you want to be free? Then let me hear you say yes. Yes, I'm only here for God. I know.
There are times in our life we give up the fight. We sit down and cry. We let life pass us by. Keep on, look at the past. Things that just didn't last. We gave up too fast. We chose to let it all go. Just listen, Spirit is calling, our hearts are yearning. Just listen, will be in the flow, then you will know who you really are. Who you really are. Just listen. And so it is.